In this short video, let's take a look at the range method, which we use in repetition structures with for loops. And remember, there are several different arguments. Some are default and implicit, but you can specify those arguments explicitly to get range to do different things. So in this first instance here, let me make sure I'm running the right function. All right, so in this first example, x is equal to range, and we pass in 6. Well, range takes several arguments, what to start with. So by default, it's 0. So saying range 6 is the same thing as saying range 0, 6. And by default, it counts up by 1. And that's, I could say comma 1. So these two arguments are implied. I can leave them out, but I don't have to. I could count by 2. I could start at 5 if I wanted, just saying. But if I leave the optional arguments out and I only pass in 6, then it starts at 0. The default's always 0, and it increments by 1 or counts by 1. So that would create a sequence of numbers from 0 through 5. Because of the fence post issue with range, remember that it always stops counting 1 less than the number. So not 0 to 6, but 0 to 6 minus 1, or 0 through 5. And to illustrate the point, hit F5 and run this. And again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, if we loop through it. Now let's look at this example. We're going to start at 440. So we're overriding the default 0. We're going to start counting at 440. We're going to go to 445, but remember that fence post issue with range. So let's go run function 2 now. We'll clear the console, hit F5. So again, we start counting at 440. We end counting at 444 because of the fence post. It's minus 1. It stops counting at 1 minus what you tell it to stop at, and it's counting by 1s because that's a default. Okay. Let's look at a third example, and in this example, we're explicitly specifying instead of the default 0, we want to start counting at 1. We're going to count up to 10, but remember the fence post, so it's not really 10, it's 9. It's 10 minus 1, so it'd be 9. And instead of counting by 1, the default, we're going to count by 2s this time. So let's clear the screen, hit F5, we'll run it. So look, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And we're just counting up by odd numbers here, but by counting by 2. Just another example of range. So here, again, I could do without the, the 0 here. I could just use the default, which is 0. It doesn't matter, but I'm counting to 10, and I'm counting by 2. So let's uncomment this and comment this, and let's run, and that should be a 4 right there. Let's run our function 4 here. Clear the screen. All right, and so now instead of counting by odd numbers, I'm counting by even numbers. Why? Because I start at 0 and I count by 2. Okay, and I'm going up to 10. So basically, the last number I'm going to display is going to be 8 because it's 10 minus 1, 9, but 9 is odd and not even. And I'm not doing this either. Sorry, get rid of that comment there, but it makes things confusing. Okay. All right, so I hope this sort of illustrates the usage of range and different parameters you can pass into range, different ways to use range, how to use it and plug it into your repetition structures, your loops, and even in creating iterable types of objects. Thanks for watching.